Network.
We've got it.
This transmission is coming to
you. Waging war on corruption.
All right, you are go.
It's Alex Jones, coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
We see the Earth.
We've got it.
We see the Earth now.
Yeah, we see the Earth. We know what's going on this planet. We've studied human history. We've studied the corrupt ruling class in all of their entitled arrogance and insider crony capitalist eugenics corruption. Thank you so much for joining us on this live Sunday transmission. And believe me, we've got incredibly important information for you today. It is, of course, 4 o'clock Central and 1 minute now. That's 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Mountain. But wherever you're listening in the world, thank you for joining us. It is the 27th day of November 2011, and we're going to be here for the next 2 hours. And start your engine, start your thinking processes, because when I get back from this break, it is just unbelievable quickening and acceleration. And 6 months from now, this quickening, this acceleration in world events will look tame. Strap yourselves in, get right with God, because the world is going to get crazier and crazier. We are entering world government run by absolutely the most villainous, verminous form of snake-like wicked doers that you could possibly imagine. The hedge of protection is being removed from Western nations, and evil is flooding in right now like so much swamp water. Unbelievable information today. I want to look at something we've been aware of for a while, but finally got a lot of attention. And not only is the story huge, but the response by the trolls and their deception is very, very telling, and is very informative. And by exposing deception, those out there listening will learn how to detect it and learn the playbook of the enemy, and then you can teach others and be aware of it, because the people perish for lack of knowledge. The truth will set you free. Knowledge is power. You know all the cliches. They're cliches because they're true. Senate moves to allow military to intern Americans without trial. NDAA detention provision will turn America into a battlefield. Now, Ron Paul's come out and said that's what this does. The ACLU has. And within minutes of our article going up, there were trolls on there, the usual suspects, lying and saying it doesn't say what Ron Paul, the ACLU, Infowars.com have said. Because the bill is written by slimebag lawyers, and the people coming into the site were already there with their playbook of lies. Now, that shows you we're hurting these people. When they have the New York Times come out and say that my film, The Obama Deception, is linked to the White House shooter, or that the Tucson shooting's my fault, or if you slip on a banana peel, it's our fault. That's because we're over the enemy target. We're dropping info weapons on them. We're hurting their mountain of lies. We're blasting them to kingdom come. And so they're firing every bit of flack they can at us, because we are over the target, bloodshot eyes, the whole 9 yards. We're going in, nothing's stopping us. We're committed, and boy, does it feel good to just be committed and not be afraid and not care what the consequences are. So I'm going to break this down today. Then I'm going to get into Newt Gingrich. I've been meaning to do this for a while, and there's so much dirt on him that I tend to get so busy with other research that I don't go recompile all the stuff I've run across over the years. And so I keep procrastinating on doing this because I'm so busy. So I just did an hour of digging through my research last night and today, and I've got like 15 pieces of evidence of just total globalism, total treason, total just open his own statements for world government, the end of America, carbon taxes, Bill Clinton loving him, all of it. So we're going to just give you a nice uppercut to Newty Gingrich like we did for Mitt Romney, Ricky Perry, and all the rest of these globalist stooges. That's coming up. And then I got pulled over by the state police. I'll tell you about that. Stay with us.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They show pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
You are listening to an Infowars.com frontline report. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. From deep in the heart of FEMA Region 6, Austin, Texas, transmitting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
That's right. I don't come to you from the United States of America and the republic for which it stands. I come to you from deep inside occupied United States, occupied Texas. I come to you from the former capital of my state, where electronic voting machines in the county for at least 15 years have been proven and certified to be complete frauds. I've been there challenging the election results myself at Travis County when the state admits it's a fraud but says they can go ahead with it. I live in an occupied country, and I want my republic back. And watching these globalists blame the Bill of Rights and Constitution for all of our problems and blaming free market capitalism for all of our problems. That's what globalists do. They take your country over with crony insider operations, steal all the wealth, get the people in debt through fraud, and then blame everything that was good that they've thrown out the window, that they've cut up in little pieces, that they've pulled down. They blame the good for what the evil have done and then offer you more tyranny, more statism, more corruption as the answer. And then you go into the next phase as society unravels and falls apart. The system comes out and says, we need to crack down on the public. We need to get rid of freedoms because now the country's falling apart. And the police and the military, they almost always march out and do it. And you become a third world nation with no honor, a tiny elite, 99% poor. And that's where America's going. We're already halfway there. You get rid of the Bill of Rights and Constitution, it's like getting oxygen out of a submarine. Every form of freedom dies on board. Your whole future, your honor. America was different because we were independent and we had rights and people jealously guarded them as Thomas Jefferson commanded and as George Washington commanded. I got pulled over Friday driving home. Did an early day, driving home about 3:30 or so. And I knew I was driving 55. I was in the slow lane. The traffic wasn't very bad, but I was taking my time because I was thinking. And got pulled over. And he acted like and looked at me like I was a rabbit and he was a coyote. And he went over everything. What's in that bottle? Let me check the tint on your window. On and on and on. While the government is on record shipping in the majority of the narcotics, allowing major companies like DynCorp and Halliburton to run giant white slavery, including children's sex slave rings, Chicago Tribune, Associated Press, BBC. Foreign banks have totally taken the country over. They've stolen the massive pension funds of the military, gone 12 years ago. Everything is disintegrating, and this cop is sitting there with relish at his little paramilitary checkpoint. I know all the federal and state rulings. I know the Texas traffic code. I know it's all a fraud, but I would never even try to deign to tell him that. But I'm going to tell you the story later, because he certainly got an earful. And all of you that serve this system, you need to know something. The average German cop in 1941 was probably not a bad person. But you know what? You're wearing the uniform of evil. And our country is hijacked and is run by the big 6 megabanks who are openly in every major publication announcing global government by banks. Europe conquered by Goldman Sachs. They're so arrogant, they don't even deny they engineered it now through fraud. And the servile yuppies can't even get their eyes to focus or their minds to focus enough to see the doom, the galloping horsemen of economic and financial and physical bondage and conquest now happening to this country. The republic literally burning to the ground with all of the hard-fought liberties and freedoms disappearing, and in place of it, scores of new offices and swarms of agents sent out to eat out our substance. Every control freak, every nobody, every person who couldn't get a job and wouldn't know how to start a company because of the system they were brought up in, given their petty power, given their uniforms, and the petty bureaucrats and the passive-aggressive. I went to a buffet today for my father's birthday. Nice place, Fonda San Miguel, one of my favorite restaurants in Austin. And I sat there and people watched. And I watched people that went through the buffet line and tried to get their food, you know, at moderate speed, but thinking of others. And I watched this group of guaranteed bureaucrat school teachers. I didn't ask them, 99% chance, I know the type. And I watched them with relish, watch the line stack up and sit there per dessert dish. And I wasn't getting dessert because I'm overweight. I was getting it for my children. They'd already eaten. I watched him sit there, and the lady at the pecan pie for at least a minute and a half picking at it, and they were enjoying it and looking up and feeding on the frustration of people backed up behind them. That is what a powerless person does. And evil is served by a bunch of powerless people. A bunch of small-minded people. These women didn't look older than 60, but I could already see Alzheimer's in them. I could already see addled shaking and weakness. I could already see their souls were already gone, and all they could do was have petty power to block a line. It's the same people that will, you're driving down a 3-lane highway, and they'll see you driving up at 70 miles an hour, and they will get over and get in front of you and actually enjoy, and you'll get around them, and they'll speed up. Their power in life is holding back the virtuous. Their power in life is trampling on the good, because good people don't seek out power. Good people just seek out a decent, safe, honorable life and are content and aren't seeking to dominate others because it's embarrassing to those of us who are strong. It is embarrassing to those of us that have honor. It is embarrassing. And because of that, we are normally ruled by chicken neck scum and control freaks and psychopaths and sociopaths and the different flavors that make up the legions of evil that we face as a society. All right, I'm going to stop right there. But that's what government is. It's there to shut down the little guy, to shut down the independent, and it's there to create monopolies for the power elite through fraud and corruption. And it is run by the most ruthless, wicked people you can imagine. And because the general public will not wake up and will not see themselves as leaders and will not try to study how the world really works, we are like a nation of blind people trying to navigate an obstacle course. People don't even know where they are. They don't even know why in history what's happening is so dangerous and is a guaranteed disaster. A conscious government taken over by corruption and evil. A conscious looting. A conscious order out of chaos. A conscious rendering down, breaking of the American people. Culturally, spiritually, the culture of death, the culture of pettiness, the Black Friday, people dying, nobody cares. A man lays there for hours dead while people continue shopping. People are trying to grab a video game away from a grandfather, getting it for his grandson, so he sticks it under his jacket. The cops come over. He doesn't resist. They take his head, slam it in the ground, blood.